Hey Mark, I've been doing SEO since 2002 and it's still hard.
You know, Eric, today in this episode of Here's Why with Mark and Eric, I'm going to ask you to share with our audience some of the hardest parts of doing SEO.
Cool.
Okay, Eric, what's one thing that you would mention as something that is really challenging to people trying to do SEO, but something that most people wouldn't think of as being so challenging?
Well, there's some things that are kind of obvious to those of us that are in the business, but if you're not, finding the right sources of information is really hard. So I like to start people with some of the more obvious things and kind of get them going. So that's Google's Webmaster Guidelines, the Moz blog, Rand Fishkin's Whiteboard Friday is awesome, Search Engine Land, Bill Slosky's SEO by the Sea, the Digital Marketing Excellence blog that you and I both do, I think is a good source of information. But, of course, after a while, you're going to want to expand beyond that, too. And when you're ready to do that, then you need to ask people that you really trust for what other sources of information you could look at.
Great. So you just need to learn a few skills and then you're good to go?
You know, I wish it was that simple. Unfortunately, it really isn't. In fact, it's actually quite easy to learn individual pieces and facts of SEO. The problem is that there's hundreds or thousands of different things that you need to learn to have really a comprehensive SEO background. And each individual piece is pretty easy, but learning how to integrate that into a bigger, broader SEO plan is a big deal. So not only do you have to learn all this information, then you have to review someone's website and decide how to prioritize what needs to happen first, what will have the biggest impact, what's worth doing. Some things won't even be worth doing. And then when you're done with all of that, over time, well, the landscape keeps changing. So you have to keep learning new things and integrating that into your overall knowledge base. So the big deal here really is learning how to integrate it all.
Okay, we've got the information, we've integrated it, now what?
Well, unfortunately, there's a long way to go from that point. You run into my three favorite corporate things.
Oh?
Resistance, politics, and ignorance. Okay, those aren't really my three favorite things, but unfortunately, a lot of times when you're trying to get organizations to move forward with an SEO program, that happens. And it happens in different ways for different people in different departments. So for example, your chief marketing officer will get stuck on a different point than your CTO, right? And your CEO might have some other issue, and your VP of marketing or director of marketing might be stuck on something else. And the big thing you have to learn to do here is figure out where they're stuck and in their language understand how to address their concerns. So the CFO is going to be concerned about financial issues or something like that. But I think the most important thing is to reduce it to 5 slides in 5 minutes, I like to say. Oh. I'm being fairly arbitrary because that's an article I wrote for Search Engine Watch a while back. But it's a good concept. If it takes you longer than 5 minutes to explain to someone why your SEO project is important, you'll end up failing. So that's a big thing. Learn how to get it in their lingo and learn how to explain it fast.
Great. Check out Eric's article in the links below to find out more about that. Can't I just copy what I see as working for others, like my competitors?
Gosh, I wish you could. I wish it was that easy. Unfortunately, you can't assume what works for others will work for you. In fact, you could literally copy someone else's campaign, whatever they're doing in SEO. And for reasons that are hard to understand, Google will still not like it. I'm not talking about literally duplicating the content here, just the structural SEO concepts with entirely different content. Still might not work for you. The Google algorithm is so complex that if there's layers of things that you don't understand that are going on that cause that other person to rank. It may be because they did it first, and then you copy the same concept and it doesn't work for you. So you have to go beyond that. You have to really focus on SEO best practices, because if you just copy someone else's strategy, not only could it not work for you, could actually get you in trouble with Google's algorithm if they're not following those best practices. And
eventually they might catch up with you or catch up with them first, but you don't want to take that chance.
Not a bet you want to make.
Okay. Well, you've given us a lot to think about today, Eric. The resources that we've mentioned, blog posts and other things, are in the description below. Be sure and check those out. And join us next time for another episode of Here's Why with Mark and Eric.